This is Mark Bell from SuperTraining Gym. SuperTraining Gym, the strongest gym in the West. Today, we're going to talk about diet, and I'm with my girl, Jessica Smith. She's going to explain some of her journey as of late. Before we jump into that, I want to say that every single diet that I've ever done, as long as I was able to follow it, all of them worked. You hear a lot of disputes, you hear people fighting a lot online about the carnivore diet's the best, or the keto diet's the best, or if it fits your macros is the best. All these different diets people are so excited about, I think, because they're having a good experience with it, and they're gaining momentum, and they're losing weight, and they're doing the things that they're associating their goals with, so they're all pumped up about it. And then from there is they say that this is the best diet, rather than saying this diet works really well for me, here's what I think, here's my opinion. They try to like stamp some facts onto it, and we don't really have enough information to stamp facts on hardly any of the diets. The only thing that we do know is that if you can figure out a way to eat less, then you're probably on the path to losing weight. Anyway, Jessica, what's been some of your experience with diet and nutrition maybe in the last about 5 years or so?
I didn't have much of a background on nutrition and diet when I was in college training as a student athlete, and that says a lot, I think. I was just thinking about this the other day. Like, there's no semblance of what nutrition is as a student athlete growing up in college. Like, nothing. So I didn't know anything other than like, well, you probably shouldn't eat that. I really didn't know a ton. And then I started working here. You introduced me to the keto diet and tried to help me through some of my stuff, and I ended up losing 40 pounds-ish. And then I kind of was like, all right, well, I would like to introduce carbs back into my diet, see if I can lead a more balanced lifestyle. And that worked for a little bit, and then it didn't work. And I fell back into the same trap that I had before, just because I wasn't taught proper mechanics of like nutrition. Here I was, gained a bunch of weight back, lost it again through, I believe, if it fits your macros, followed that. I just felt really OCD about it. It was super anal. I had really bad anxiety when I would go eat, or if I wasn't prepared enough.
Got kind of caught up in weighing. And
yeah, you caught up in weighing absolutely every single thing and inputting it in your phone, and I just got super anal about it, and I just got super OCD, and it just led to really bad anxiety around food. And I was like, I do not like that. That's
still okay, like if it helps you get towards your goal, because kind of just do it whatever way you can. The problem is when it's not going well. That's the trouble is, what do you do when it's not going well? And having a better understanding of like what food actually does to us, and as she said, and I think it's very well put, the mechanics of nutrition. The basics are, you have to try to figure out a way, how can you personally control your nutrition? How can you gain control? Because let's just face the facts, we're out of control with our food, right?
Yeah.
And even when I'm eating nutritiously, I'm probably still eating too much very often. Like I like to eat. The main thing to know here is that a lot of these diets work. A keto diet can work. The way it helped her was we eliminated a macronutrient from her diet. She ended up eating less. She ended up probably eating more protein than she's used to. So she was satisfied enough to give it a go for a while. She did lose weight, but then where do you go from there? That's the key element, is where do you go from there? And that's what I'm trying to teach, and that's why I talk about this stuff all the time. I talk so much about protein leveraging, because when you eat more protein, it will eventually drive down your overall hunger over a period of time. So what did you kind of move to next after you messed around with the keto diet? You said you played around with some, if it fits your macros.
Yeah, and then I kind of was doing my own thing, just kind of eating based on how I felt. I was pretty good about making all right decisions. Of course, I'd still indulge in like fun stuff if you're out with friends or whatever. Then I moved on to working with John because I was trying to gain a little bit more control with my emotions and my mental health during quarantine. I was not unhappy with the way I looked. I thought I looked great, and I still stick to it even looking at the pictures, and I do see a huge difference. I mean, 17 pounds is kind of a big deal. I did like how I looked, but it was more of like, I know nutrition can heal other things, so we're going to be stuck in quarantine with lack of social interaction. I wanted to make sure that I wasn't gonna fall off into like a spiral of a depression or anything.
It also there wasn't an option for you to do as much strongman stuff as you were doing. There wasn't an option for you to pursue a 350-pound squat.
Yeah,
so you may as well lose weight or something.
Yeah, it was like, well, I don't really have access to a full gym, full equipment, so what can I do to make sure that I'm not at least completely going off the rails with my goals? And so I picked nutrition. I felt like it had been enough time for me to really get a hold of it, and that's what I wanted to do. And I made a decision, and once I made that decision, I was stuck to it, and that was what I was doing.
Jessica is super smart with her words, and I don't think maybe doesn't even always realize it, but when she used the word emotions, that's huge, because when we're talking about nutrition, the reason why nutrition for a lot of folks doesn't work is because we're not just dealing with, hey, I told you to eat chicken breast, bananas, apples, oranges, some lean meats, and then you just go and you're like, okay, and you just go and do it. You have your emotions to deal with. We have other people's emotions, other people that are in our lives, people we work with, relationships, children, whatever other things. Maybe you're a teacher, maybe you're a police officer, fireman. Like, wow, you're interacting with a lot of people on a given day. Some of you may have noticed, and maybe this is true for Jessica, but I certainly noticed this during quarantine. It was actually a little bit easier to eat better because there was no stress there was still some stress because you didn't know what the hell was going on, but there was a lot less work-related stress. We weren't at work for 8 hours a day. And I think a lot of people have a tendency to fall into those pitfalls. You're really open and susceptible to doing things that aren't good for you, that aren't in your best interest when we come home from work. Because you're like, I really did have a long day, and if I'm being honest with myself, I kicked a lot of ass today. I lifted, I did all the work I was supposed to do, and now I'm going to kick my feet up, and now I'm going to enjoy myself. I see a lot of people fall into that rut.
Yeah. It's like, oh, well, I deserve this. You get the treat yourself mood, which sometimes you should, and that's healthy, and that's acceptable, and that's normal, and you should normalize that, but I think we do it a lot more often than we think.
What have you done with snacking? Because I think snacking is can be a major issue for a lot of people.
What did I do with snacking? I don't snack.
What's that mean? What do you do instead? Chew on your fingernails?
No, it's just my nutrition is super specific. You have, I shouldn't say it's super specific. It's just based on your output for the day, right? Which is very intuitive. And I think it builds really good habits. So it's like based on the amount of effort that you're putting into your work, into your workouts, whatever, is the amount of food that you're gonna put back into your body. So if you didn't have a day, you had a rest day, you didn't do much, then we lower some other things, lower carbs and maybe up the fats a little bit. On the higher days, more output, my harder days, there's gonna be more carbs and lower fat. I have, meals spaced out throughout the day enough, far apart enough, but close enough that I don't need to snack in between meals. And if I do, if I'm like really hankering for something, like I'll grab something green, like a cucumber, or that sounds so stupid, and I know people are probably going, what the hell, Jessica? But it's true, I don't snack because my meals are spaced out enough that I have plenty of time to digest my food and then experience that for however long and then have my next meal. Like, I'm not dying of hunger in between my meals so bad that I need to have a snack. It's created a really strong habit for me, actually, to not snack.
A friend of mine once said that he just viewed snacks as a waste of time. And if you think about, people say that time is like the most valuable commodity that we have. And if you think about the fact that the food that you're eating could be costing you a lot of time because you have to go figure out a way to expend that energy, it actually makes a lot of sense. Like, you could be wasting time with eating tortilla chips, or eating whatever junk food, whatever snack food it is that you're eating. It's okay to eat these things here and there, but just understand like what you're doing and ask yourself, like, do I really want to walk 3 miles to or do I want to jog 3 miles or whatever it might be, just to work that thing off that I had a lot of control over. I didn't have to eat that particular thing. Another thing that she was touching upon is, learning these mechanics and learning the specifics of nutrition. And I think in today's world, everyone's always looking for a leader or a hero to come swooping in and teach all of us the right stuff to do and all these different things. And I see it time and time again, and I actually get very frustrated with it because people are like, they need to teach this in high school, they need to teach this at school, they need to teach that. Even I have said that, I've been guilty of it, but I'm not saying that anymore, because you know what? I'm going to take it on my own shoulders, and I'm going to start to try to teach people the best way I can. That's what Jessica's doing, that's what all of us here at Slingshot, all of us here at SuperTraining, the knowledge that we learn about how to squat, bench, deadlift, the knowledge that we gain for nutrition. She's sharing a lot of stuff with her sister, comes in here and works out with her. We're trying to share information with each other so that we can get better. We're not waiting for somebody else to kind of take the reins on that. Once you start to gain the knowledge, it's now your duty to start to preach it out to some other people. How have you impacted some of the people closest to you? I know your dad's lost a bunch of weight.
Yeah, so when I first started losing weight, I inspired enough of my dad to go ahead and start his weight loss. He started at, probably close to 400 pounds. Yeah, he lost a ton of weight. I think he lost initially over 100 pounds and then lost like 130.
One thing I want to tell everyone too is that I have not met anyone in my entire life that doesn't possess the ability to follow some guidelines. So you might watch this right now and you might say, I can't do what she's doing. I don't know what diet she's talking about. There's a reason why we're not talking too specific about the actual diet, is because the actual diet does not matter that much. All that matters is that it fits you and fits some of your personality. Like, you don't agree with factory farming, and you don't agree with slaughtering animals, then you're not going to be on a carnivore diet, right? Or if you are on a carnivore diet, you're going to try to buy meat that doesn't come from those type of factories, right? So it has to fit some of your belief system and has to fit into some of those windows. The actual diet itself isn't the main thing. How have you built up the resilience to do what you're doing now, and would you be able to do what you're doing now 4 or 5 years ago?
So, hitting the first question, how have I managed to stick to it, basically?
Mm-hmm.
It's just a meal at a time, to be completely frank. If you do it hard enough, you want it enough, and you do it for about a week, you'll see some pretty immediate changes, especially if you're living a life like most Americans, eating just processed stuff. And it comes not from fat loss, it doesn't come from losing muscle or fat or anything, it just comes from straight loss of inflammation. That in and of itself can be so motivating that it pushes you into the next week.
You might feel better within 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
And so then it's like, okay, well, I lost a ton of inflammation. My stomach looks better. I'm already feeling better. I feel better. I'm starting to look a little bit better. That's cool. I'm going to keep going. So it's just that little difference was enough for you to keep that motivation to keep going. It's a cyclical thing. So the more changes you see, the more motivated you might get. Of course, there are always going to be moments where you're like, man, this is hard. I'm hungry, or you're bored, or you're not doing anything and you're hyper focusing on food. But each time you say no, you get stronger. It's super weird. I used to lay in bed and go, man, I would love a cookie right now. I would do that like every night, and I would just sit in my bed and be like, no, it's fine, I'm good. And it would get easier and easier to say no. Do I give in sometimes? Absolutely, I'm fucking human. But for the most part, it's easier to say no after you've said no a few times.
Yeah, you think about, what do they say, an object in motion stays in motion, right? So if you have taken a step forward, it's easier to take the next step and the next step. And there will be stuff along the way that gets to be super annoying. I know with her dad, he was walking for a while and then his feet started bothering him, but then he shifted gears and he got on a bike.
Yeah.
He's like, the bike doesn't hurt my feet. So you got to find your bike. You got to find your thing that's not an excuse to, just not do what you're trying to do. It might be a little setback. You might get injured in the gym. And that might suck. But you can't have that injury and then you can't come to somebody and say, I gained 20 pounds because I hurt my ankle. You gained 20 pounds because you fell back into your bad habits. You didn't learn enough. The more knowledge that you have, the more knowledgeable you are, the easier these problems will be to solve. And again, there's a specific reason why we're not like hammering you guys with the stats of some of it. The specific information isn't the most important thing. The most important thing is that you find something that you can follow. What other habits have you implemented that is assisting with losing weight? You don't have any. Most of the people in here, like the gym, like, sorry, we just got it when it comes to the gym. Like, we got that part nailed down. We're pretty good with that. I don't think you have any issues with hitting the weights, right?
No, if I skip it for a few days, then I'm like, it's harder to get in, but
Right. For the most part, you're pretty good on that part.
I'm pretty dialed in.
Any
on, like,
walking, running, sprinting, jumping, any extra activity?
Yeah, so I have been running twice a week, either with my sister or with another friend. Nothing crazy, just something different. It's easier to run when you're not as heavy. Weird. We walk, usually the whole office actually goes on walks. We go on a 10-minute walk at least 2 to 3 times a day after we eat usually, and then just drinking a ton of water, at least a gallon a day.
What if you're super duper pooper scooper hungry? What do you do? Can you just eat more protein? Do you have a limit on that, or
I mean, it's really not ideal just because, he's planning my week, and then based on how my body performs, he'll then adjust.
Mm-hmm.
So if I do add something like that in, I just have to let him know.
Right.
But I mean, I'm sure he would have no problem if I was like, hey man, I was super hungry, so I made some egg whites.
He wouldn't. Yeah, he wouldn't.
It's
Yeah.
fucking gross, but I would do it.
Right.
I guess if I really wanted to, or even a chicken breast, because there's like no fat in it.
When I was doing a bodybuilding style diet, my coach said, "Hey, look, if you're super hungry, you can do one of two things. You can have 10 egg whites, or you can have like 12 ounces of tilapia." And it's like, at that point, I mean, but I did do egg whites pretty much. I did egg whites almost every night. 10 egg whites is actually a lot more food than you would think. I'd have that with some like salsa on it, or just some salt and pepper, and it didn't taste very good, but it worked. In this country, we're not really hurting for food. Try to figure out a way for yourself, for you, to gain some control over your nutrition, gain some control over your diet. Do you have specific foods that he has kind of written out that are on your plan?
Yeah, the specific foods are broken down obviously by protein, fat, and carbs. But the way we count it and work it is whatever main source it is, that's what we count. So my lean sources of protein are, I can have salmon if I want leaner cuts of beef, so flank or
Top
sirloin,
New York
yeah.
strip or something like that.
Yeah, chicken breasts, no chicken thighs, unfortunately. Fish, tuna, or whitefish, yeah, tilapia, something gross like that. Rice, potatoes, oatmeal, berries are part of my carb source. Watermelon, eggs. I can have eggs, but those count as fat and protein. Egg whites.
About avocado, olive oil, olives.
Yeah, olive oil, avocados, olives, and cashews or almonds. So nuts for my fat sources. Guacamole. I mean, all that is.
What does like an amount of like meat look like for you? Like, is it like more on the side of 6 ounces, or is it more on the side of like 10, 12 ounces?
I guess it just depends on the type of meat.
Okay.
So if I have beef, it's probably closer to 6 ounces. Whereas if it's really anything else, it takes a little bit
You
more.
can have almost double because of the calories.
Because
right?
of the way the calories work out. So it's probably closer to 8 ounces if it's like chicken or something,
Right.
versus beef where it's 6.
Any idea how much protein you get in a day, approximately?
About 200 grams of protein a day.
And then what about carbohydrates? That you said that varies, right?
It varies on my output for the day. Low carb, my rest days, I have 0. I can eat greens though. I can eat vegetables.
So you're trying to get 0, but some might sneak in because
Yeah,
there's trace
so I
carbohydrates.
mean
and
5. Yeah, we don't really count
Right.
greens as carb
or
sources.
nuts or whatever.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah, we're not taking the carbs from the nuts or
Fiber and everything else.
Yeah, we're not worried about that. We're just worried about straight carb sugar sources. Medium days are about 130 grams of carbs, and then my high day is probably closer to 200 or more, depending on whatever cheat meal or I'm allotted. So if it's a high carb with no fat, then it could be anywhere from, 500 grams of carbs to, 7, or if I'm feeling frisky or something.
Right.
But yeah, that's about it.
Do you do anything post-workout, or is it just food, like protein shakes or amino acids? Or
So every workout you can have either EAAs or a scoop of protein on medium days. So during your workout you can have that. If it's a high carb day, you'll have it during and then after. It's not a huge fan of protein after, but a protein during your workout is good. Yeah, that's about normal.
You said you lost how many pounds over the last couple weeks?
Over the last few months, I have lost almost 20 pounds, so 17.
Damn. I forgot. We're not saying lost anymore. We're saying released. Because we don't want to find it.
I released 17 pounds. That sounds gross, kind of. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Sounds a little nasty.
What else do you learn about yourself through the process of all this? Because it's pretty cool.
That I actually have control over my diet, before it kind of just felt like I was a victim of it. That sounds so weird to say out loud.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a victim
But you're
of
like
my
in
own
the
nutrition.
I get it. You felt, maybe correct me if I'm wrong, you felt like you were in the experience of it each and every day, and maybe you were a little bit behind, like it felt like you were a little behind, and it felt like loud and noisy, and like you couldn't concentrate.
It's like, man, I feel like I'm making all the right decisions, and I'm still coming up short.
Still fat.
Yeah, yeah. I'm like, man, what's a girl got to do to see an ab or two? Like, it'd be kind of cool. So another thing is mindset. I used to say that there's no way I'm ever gonna see an ab. It's coming, guys. It's gonna happen. We're gonna make it happen.
And it's easier for her to say that now after she's lost some weight, because now she's in striking distance, right? So if you're watching this right now and you're like, that's never gonna be me, never say never. Try not to speak in absolutes. Anyway, thank you so much for sharing all that information. Again, a big part of this is going to be your mindset. In the comments below, please let us know what style of diet you're following and what's working well for you, and also maybe what habits or what mindset you had to change. Something I heard earlier today, let's see if I can get this right without messing it up. You want to ask yourself this question: what do you currently not believe about yourself that's not allowing you to get to your goals? Work on that. Write that shit down. Strength is never a weakness. Weakness is never a strength. Catch y'all later.
Bye.
Give it a punch. Oh, not too hard. What you doing?
Figuring out my life right now.
Hey Jessica, happy birthday. Mark tells me it's another year, and you are another year older, wiser, and stronger. Congratulations on all the work you've done on yourself, physically, mentally, and spiritually. Birthdays are important. It's a chance for you to look and reflect on what you've done. Enjoy the day that you were brought into this world, and look forward to another year of kicking ass. Congratulations.
Hey Jessica,
Hey Jessica, happy birthday.
Happy birthday. We're out on our bike ride, getting our exercise in. We love you. We're so happy that you're part of Team Slingshot.
Hope you're inspired.
Happy birthday, Jessica Smith. Thank you for all that you do. And
Oh, your chair broke.
I know. That's how excited I am that it's her birthday. Thank you for all that you do for Slingshot, and it's been great working with you, and you're an awesome individual.
Hell
Happy
yeah.
birthday.
Hey Jess, happy birthday. Cheers.
All right, Jessica, I've known you for about 4 years now, and it's been awesome working with you and challenging and working out with you in the gym. I just want to wish you a happy birthday, and I hope you
Tell
have
her
a
the
great
truth.
time. Or I'll tell you off camera the truth.
Oh, happy birthday. What's up, Ryan Soper?
Hey, Jess. Just wanted to say I really enjoy working with you, and I wanted to wish you a happy birthday.
Hell yeah. It's Jessica's birthday.
Happy birthday, Jessica.
Are you going to sing to her?
Jessica,
Say what's up.
you're freaking. I was gonna say you're the man, but I caught myself because I did want.
That would be mean.
I wanted to be genuine and say that watching you work so damn hard has been very inspiring. So thank you for that. But yeah, happy birthday. Hope you have an amazing day.
Hell yeah. How about you give us a happy birthday? You don't have to sing it though.
Jessica, feliz cumpleaños.
Oh, there we go.
Jessica Smith, little Jess, you come out here, you
last minute, you need us to ship your orders. What do? We ship them for you. Why? Because we love you. Love you, Jess. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Jess. I hope you have a wonderful day. I just wanted to shed some gratefulness and thank you for being a positive ripple in our community and at SuperTraining and in the fitness world in general. You're such a positive and great motivator and influencer for both men and women in the lifting world and in the fitness industry. And I'm just so grateful, and I feel so lucky to have you as my friend. And I just hope you have the best day because you deserve the best day. I love you.
Yo, Jessica Smith. Hey, I know everybody was inspired and fired up from that video. I was too. Amazing hearing Jessica's story and her journey. She's done an amazing job, not only losing weight, not only shedding weight, and hopefully never gaining it back again. But she's also shed a lot of fear and a lot of doubt that she may have had in herself, and it's been amazing for me to watch her grow over the years. Thank you so much for everything that you do at Slingshot. Many of you may not know this, but Jessica runs my Instagram. I have been off Instagram for many, many months. So all the things that you're liking and all the things you're commenting over there, and then you're getting comments back, that ain't me. That's Jessica Smith, which helps free up a lot of time for me, which is tremendously valuable for me in my life with my family and my other relationships that I have. So Jessica, thank you so much. We here at Slingshot love you, and at SuperTraining Gym we love you, and we appreciate everything that you've done. Have a happy and a wonderful birthday. Catch you later. Oh, strength is never a weakness, weakness is never a strength. Catch y'all later.